the interview, we just have to ask you a couple of questions of how it was learning English as a second language. So can you go ahead and tell us your name and what language you were raised to learn first?
Okay, my name is Kenia Jacobo, and I first learned Spanish, and then I started learning English when I was 5.
Okay, so my first question for you is, can you tell me about when and where you started learning English as a second language?
I started learning English when I entered pre-K here in Cartersville, and I went to school knowing bathroom, and that was it. That was so I wouldn't pee myself in class.
Yeah, that's important.
But the only word was bathroom, like that was it.
Oh man.
So would you were just like, whenever you had to use the bathroom, you would just say the word bathroom?
Yeah, I would raise my hand and be like, bathroom?
And then they'd let you go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what motivated you to learn English, and was there a particular reason or goal you had in mind?
I would say my reasoning to learn it would be to understand school, because that's like where you're learning the basics, like colors and shapes, and like easy like phrases like, can I go to the bathroom? Question mark. I guess learning the small phrases to get me through that section of school. And then it would just continue on to high school, so I could be able to do all my assignments.
Could you describe your experience with language instruction? Like, what kind of methods or resources did you find most helpful in your learning journey?
So I would say that it was definitely audio. Like, when someone would say it, I learned how to repeat it. And that's why, like, even if I'm talking right now, like, you'll hear sometimes a country accent, but that's just because of the way, like, everyone around me talks. And so the way I learned it was whatever, well, all our teachers are really Southern here. They'd be like, what's a real or like, even using the word ain't. Like, I was talking to my boyfriend's mom, and I was like, he ain't no size medium. Like, she repeated it to me, and I was like, okay, let me, not too much now. Like,
yeah.
And, like, she'll just randomly, like, mock me. Because there's just certain bits and phrases that just come out really Southern. Yeah. But that's just me from, like, growing up mimicking everything that I was taught.
Yeah. And Cartersville is just straight country. Okay.
Could you describe your experience with, like, wait, this one?
Yeah, 4.
Oh, sorry. How has learning English impacted your life? Are there any specific opportunities or experiences you've gained because of knowing the language?
Yeah, for sure. Experience-wise, I would say, since I probably age, like, look, it was first grade, so however old you are in first grade, there was, like, there's always, like, a group of Hispanics in every school. And most of the time, they all tend to, like, even as a young age, and just because of knowing Spanish, you kind of group together. And I guess typically that would be the ESOL kids. Yeah. Just because we have that, like, barrier in common. And then, when I was in first grade, there was, like, a lot of parent-student teacher meetings, but I would have to be there translating. Because obviously my parents didn't understand English, so I was the mediator between teacher, me, parents. And then there was a couple other students who their English wasn't really, like, developing as well. Or, like, they were having struggles with learning it. So I would go to their meetings and translate for their parents and, like, do the same thing. And then you said experiences and what else?
Opportunities.
Okay. I would say opportunity-wise, I guess being able to finish my high school career and with knowing English and getting fluent at it, I wasn't just stuck in, like, easier classes or regular classes. I was able to, like, take APs and, I guess, further my education.
Yeah. Okay. How has learning English impacted your life? Are there any specific opportunities or experience you've gained because of knowing this language?
Will you say that again? I totally blanked.
Okay. How was learning how was learning English? Okay, so wait, did we do this one?
I skipped it.
We skipped.
That was my bad. I skipped a question, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, were there any challenges or obstacles you encountered while learning English? If so, how did you overcome them?
Yes. I mean, I still struggle with certain words. Like in Spanish, the E sound makes the I sound.
Yeah.
Vice versa. So the I sound makes the E sound. And I guess like trying to pronounce, or like when it switched over to reading, and I saw an E, I would like have to be like, okay, like how do I say that? Because my brain would just want to flip them, like the sounds. Yeah. And I remember specifically in English, I always remembered the word pig. And so when I was reading and I saw an I, I'd say the word pig first and then and then I'd go back and read the word. Because that's just what like helped me separate my E's and I's.
Yeah.
Another challenge, let me see.
That's actually a really interesting point that you brought up, because we were talking about this in linguistics today, how like the I in most languages is like pronounced as an E.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's cool that like that's like a great example of that.
Yeah, that's like a very prominent like thing in my brain, because like I remember being like, oh my gosh, like when am I ever gonna be able to do this without like manually thinking about it and just like fluently read it. Which I got better at it, but it just like I guess while I was still learning, that was the hardest part of learning English. You said another like a hard experience within learning English.
Well, like kind of to add on from that, because like you would go to school and there would be only like English speakers, obviously, and then you'd go home to only Spanish speakers in your family. Did that like have any impact?
Yes. So like, just because I know you don't speak English, but like going home, you just had the expectation of you can go home and ask your mom, I'm sick, I need help. My mom would look at that thing and be like, I can't even read it. Like, So I guess it came with like me enrolling in an after school program that was for, it was like teachers, they would get paid, like I think it was like volunteer money.
Gotcha.
And they would come and help. And it was really all Hispanics, because none of their parents grew up speaking the language. And it was like, you have a reading assignment. Well, that wasn't going to work at home. You have math. Like, my dad went to school till he was in 8th grade. Okay. And then he had to start working. So it wasn't like they have like these like big educations to be like, this is how you do long division.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and the schooling of Mexico is a lot different than what it is here. The quality here, like you learn so much more in like such a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. And there's more like most people are kind of under the, you're not really going to or like go to high school, you know, especially being a guy. Yeah. My mom, on the other hand, she did go to college. But still, like, the way we were taught to do math here is a lot different than what it is in Mexico, which is another thing to think about. Like, I remember doing a division problem in front of my mom. She's like, I would never do that. And she showed me the way she did it, and I was like, girl, I don't know what you're doing. Like, two different learning techniques.
Yeah.
And, like, math styles that just never, like, she couldn't understand me, and I couldn't understand her.
Yeah. Well, that's actually very interesting, though, that the way she learned it was so different that, like, you couldn't even pick up on it either.
Yeah.
So now I kind of want to know, like, how they do teach those subjects.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
And it just goes back to, like, different math styles, too. Like, I remember I learned 2 different ways to do long division.
Yeah.
And one was, like, if it was, like, 7, then the division symbol, 28. You can see how many times the 7 went into the 2 and how many times went to the 28, like graphing or grouping the numbers together. But then there's like a different version where like you're carrying stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I don't do that.
Too much.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about like where you currently live and what you enjoy doing in the area?
Okay, I currently live in Cartersville. I would say I enjoy going to the parks here. We have a park called Sam Smith. Me and my girlfriends normally just go and sit there or walk. Oh. Let me switch over. No.
All right.
Okay. You want me to start where I live in Cartersville?
Yeah, like, and you went to the park, Sam Smith.
Oh, okay. live in Cartersville. I like going to Sam Smith Park, and I love our Target shopping. There I go again. Shopping center.
Great. Okay, and our final question for you is, what do you do for work, and could you share a bit about what your job entails and what you find really rewarding about it?
Well, this is my boss. She has a nursing concierge business, and I just help her out with like paperwork or like technology, like setting up certain accounts. What else? Oh yeah, I travel with her to see some patients.
Okay.
The what? Oh, I schedule patients.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Would you, sorry.
No, you.
Okay. Would you say that, like, having learned English as a second language, like, do you, like, encounter any challenges, or do you, like, benefit from knowing multiple languages in your work? Like, what has your experience of being bilingual in your work been?
So honestly, I don't really have much experience with like speaking Spanish with this.
Okay.
But I will say like some common like issues in the medical field are like when it comes to Spanish speakers is them not being rewarded for being able to talk to two different cultures, you know?
Yeah.
It has been an issue where people will just say, I don't speak Spanish if you're not going to pay me for it, you know? Because you're helping out potentially a whole nother clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As rewarding wise, I would say not necessarily in the same field, but like I've been at the pharmacy before, and there was like a lady in front of me, and she couldn't talk to the pharmacist to be like, I need this.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you help? And she was like, yes. So then I was just telling the pharmacist what she was saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Did you have a question that you were gonna ask?
Just like one about going back to your learning styles, how you said like audio was a big help for you. Were any of the other learning styles helpful, or was it strictly audio? Like visual, kinesthetic?
Remind me, is kinesthetic hands-on?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say visual helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But even later on in 8th grade, I got some testing done, and I have audio photographic memory. Like if I hear stuff, I can just remember it.
Yeah.
A lot. Like even when I was doing schoolwork, I would put my phone on low recording thing, and I would talk to my phone like I was teaching it. But in reality, it was for me to hear it. Because
Gotcha.
like memorize everything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And one last question, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, I lost it. Wait. Okay. Do you feel that learning grammar was essential for you to understand English? I know that in Spanish, like a lot of the adjectives will come after, or wait, is it?
Before, yeah.
Yeah, before. The object or whatever it is. So did like the grammar trip you up at all? Or was it more helpful to just understand vocabulary?
For me, it's definitely vocabulary. Like learning flashcards. That really was helpful for me. Grammar-wise, it didn't trip me up, but that was because that was the first time I was ever learning grammar.
Yeah.
Like I was never taught Spanish grammar. The first time I learned how to write Spanish was in 6th grade, and that was because I was taking Spanish class here. So grammar just came easily. But now when I was trying to learn the grammar behind Spanish, it confused me. And like my white friends would ask me like, how do you like, what is the conjunctive, or how do you say that?
Conjugation, is it?
Yeah, what?
Conjugation.
Oh,
Okay.
conjugation is this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I could just be like, I knew it sounded correct, but I couldn't ever do it like. You'd be like, circle it on the map, and I was like, girl.
I don't know.
Okay. So you felt that like because it was your first time learning grammar in general, it was easier to like grasp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Good
Yeah.
to know.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, or are you good? Okay, so that is it for us, but thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
bye.